I do, certainly.
But I do know
Top 10, though.
that our favorite AFC North insider and Cleveland Browns sideline reporter for the first preseason game at home this season is the one, the only Aditi Kinkhabwala, who now joins us for the first time with me back since
You say it
January.
as if it didn't count when you weren't here.
Yeah, I wasn't here last week when she was here, so it didn't really count.
Wait, Aditi, I'm Earl. It is nice to meet you.
I know, because Anthony didn't. Anthony didn't tell
Earl.
Anthony. Aditi had never met Earl because Earl hadn't been on the air last year when she was on, and Anthony, dropped the ball. Didn't say, "Hey, Earl's on the panel." Because, whatever.
Full-time producer, aspiring host, huge fan of yours. So it was fun for me to be out here in front of you. Looking forward to Friday.
It was okay. It wasn't like we needed a formal introduction. We just got right down to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Anthony
Kareem Hunt was never coming back, guys.
Never.
Relationships sometimes run their course. And so best of luck to him, because you always wish best of luck to any player. But good note that you should never really be a pain, right? Yeah. And never break bridges.
Wait a second. I heard that every player.
Somebody told me that. I don't have sources.
Yeah.
So they just
do.
I kind of. I got to. But I heard that like Kareem Hunt was really kind of disgruntled. Like he was not happy last year, and the Browns were like, okay, we're not happy either. And I didn't see that.
Wait, what do you mean? Like you heard that? Didn't he do it himself when he had a hold-in, and he sort of made it known that he wasn't happy with the amount of money that he was getting, and that he wanted a new deal?
We kind of overlooked
so
that.
It's not like it's really a herd. I mean, it's sort of, this isn't like quite as salacious. If
well,
it
he
sounds
heard other
cool,
things. He heard more
detail. Say Kareem Hunt wasn't happy. We can do that. But Kareem Hunt made clear that he wasn't happy last year.
He did in the beginning.
And I just sure, in the beginning, I guess. But then last year it was different. And now everybody's using the Mike Tomlin line. Everybody wants volunteers, not hostages. And so I think if you're not happy at a place and you make it known that you're not particularly happy at a place, or you feel underappreciated, or you feel underpaid, or you feel undervalued in some way, then, it's never going to be one-sided. Yeah. I mean, come on, if you tell your wife that you're unhappy, then you think your wife is just going to be like, oh, but I'm so happy? It's going to make her unhappy too.
Oh, yeah, man, I made that decision. I did that a few times. I was engaged.
He's been married 7 times.
I was engaged. I'm like, I am not happy. I don't like your tone today.
Yeah. That's it. I'm out.
Peace. Not working for me.
Dee frozen.
That was so
funny. I miss you. Yeah, even though Mikey says it doesn't count, I missed you last week, G. I did.
Yeah, thank you. Right. I do have an off-kilter question to ask, because I always ask her, because I'm thinking about trying to be a parent. So at what age do you let your kids wear their own clothes? Do your kids right now pick out the outfit for do they just get up and be like, yeah, I'm gonna wear this, or are they still in the mode where they just try to run things back?
No, they are most definitely picking their clothes, both of them. And it was very, very disappointing with my daughter, because I thought I was like getting a real life Barbie doll.
Right,
but
you
nope,
said that.
She's got strong opinions. But, here's the magic, G. If you are a very smart parent, you know how to manipulate them into the clothing that you want them to wear. You do this. Yes, and you hold your bullets. You choose the occasions where it's really important that you drive, hey, this is what we are wearing today. Yeah. But otherwise, you're kind of in a, you know how it goes, G. You're just like,
don't you have veto power?
You look so handsome. You look so tall. Nico, you look great if you actually wear real clothes instead of a T-shirt and gym shorts, because apparently all the kid ever wants to wear is gym shorts or sweatpants.
He's a kid. What's wrong with that?
I think that's real clothes, though. Yeah. I think that's real clothes. I got on sweatpants and a T-shirt now. That's real clothes.
That's real.
But you know what? Occasionally, like when you're on the golf course, you got to wear a, collared shirt. Or you go to a party, it might be nice to wear something that has a button on it.
No, I don't like buttons.
One button on the shorts. Is that really so awful?
Yes.
Aditi.
It's absurd that people have to get dressed up. It's insane that people have to wear a suit and a tie. And the only thing dumber than people wearing a suit and tie is that people are talking about sports have to get dressed up is the stupidest thing of all time.
I will agree with you on that one. I remember when I first went to the NFL Network. So this is all the way in 2012. I was at the NFL Network, and Albert Breer, God bless him, would be out on a training camp field wearing a suit.
Insane.
And I was just like,
terrible.
yes. I mean, everybody else out there is in shorts.
Yeah.
It's 90-something degrees. We're all sweating. I mean, I had this issue last year because someone took umbrage with the fact that on the sideline, where, P.S., when I'm on television, you only see me from here up.
Yeah.
And as a sideline reporter, you mostly hear my voice. You don't even see anything. But I log at least 10 to 15,000 steps during a game. So I'm down in Jacksonville. It's 96 degrees. I'm wearing a blouse, and I'm also wearing a golf skirt. You know, so it's
who took
short.
umbrage with that?
Looks like a skirt. I'm not saying that on air right now, but it was a thing.
Will you tell me off the air?
Sure, I'll tell you off the air.
Okay,
It wasn't a boss. It wasn't a superior. So that's okay. But, I mean, if you're running 15,000 steps, I'm wearing sneakers. I'm not
Yeah,
wearing stilettos
ridiculous.
because I'm on a football field. And I wore a golf skirt. So there you go.
Aditi,
Anyway, moving on. I'm
Yeah,
sure
moving
you're
on,
more
moving on.
interested in
Who
things
derailed
other
that
than the
conversation? Who started that?
Vikings
So we know Kareem Hunt not coming back to Cleveland. He was never coming back to Cleveland. Jerome Ford
yeah.
apparently suffered like a hamstring injury. And, you know, me, G, and Bull was talking about how those things can linger. Should the Browns actually explore the free agency market to bring in another running back just to be on the safe side? Or should they be okay with what they have?
Well, no, I do think that you're always exploring, right? You're always looking what's out there, and you're always seeing, is there a possible upgrade? You look at, for instance, the signing of a Juan Thornhill. I don't know that the Browns are necessarily actively saying, we want to go chase him, but then all of a sudden the market appears and you pounce. So you've always got your eyes open, you've always got your ears open or plugged or whatever the cliche would be there. But I do think that even if Jerome Ford is ready for the start of the season, it is disappointing that he will miss some preseason snaps. I think there was an expectation that we'd see a good chunk of him in the preseason just to get him more reps. I personally feel like you can be confident with him as your number 2 back. You still need a third back, and there's just some questions about the 3 that we've seen so far. And so I wouldn't be shocked. Now, maybe one of the 3, Felton, Kelly, and the third kid whose name, somebody help me out right now.
I
My
can't even think of it.
goodness.
Who's the other kid? The kid they got.
I can't think of his name either.
I only
John
know
Kelly?
Felton
No, Kelly's not.
No,
a
I
kid.
said John Kelly.
We know Kelly. We know
Billy
Felton.
Felton, and who's the other guy? Nobody knows.
There is no.
All right,
all
this
right,
is where
you
I need a
guys.
producer, or like go away from me
Our
so I
producer
can
just
look
failed.
down at my
Oh, number
notes or
30. What's his
roster
name,
or
number 30?
something. In
Listen,
any case,
we
I
all
do
know
think
it's very obvious. We all know who this was.
It's Slappy
It was
McGillicuddy.
definitely not John Kelly. It was Hassan Hall, obviously.
Duh.
How'd you forget Hassan
Like
Hall?
Hassan Hall. Like, come on now. Big part of this team.
So I think, yeah, these are 3 young men that, you know, could potentially show more in order to secure that third running back spot. But if not, the Browns aren't doing their due diligence, aren't doing their job if they're not out there to see how the market materializes in the next month. I mean, we're going to see a lot of that anyway in the next month, right? As cuts are made, teams are looking like, oh, here's another cliche for you. One man's trash is another one's treasure. So maybe a team lets somebody go and all of a sudden you're like, hey, that guy could really fit what we're trying to do really well. So it is disappointing. I did want to see a bit more of Jerome Ford.
Right.
It is disappointing at least that he's not getting these preseason reps, because the reps, obviously, the live game reps, all of that, it counts for something. And it does ready you in a certain way.
You know, Didi, how are the Bengals going to handle the Joe Burrow situation? Are they going to be slow to put him out there? Jamar Chase is coming out and saying, listen.
Yeah, saw what he said.
He's like, I'll catch you week 5. Don't rush it. What would you do with that situation? Or how do you think they're going to handle it too?
I just think that these are all hypotheticals at this point, right? So I think it's like we're still, what are we, 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out from the start of the season? So there's, 4 or 5 weeks. So like there's no reason to make a discussion right now.
Right.
But I think that Tamar is very wily in sort of saying, hey, we're good until week 5, because anything before that will feel like a bonus at this point. You know, if Joe Burrow is indeed 100% and ready to trot out week 1, that'll feel like an emotional boost as opposed to being framed as, oh, he's rusty or, oh, he's coming off an injury. It's like, wow, you know, he's ready to go. And we're so excited about that. But I do think that the Bengals are in this for the long game. Obviously, they're not going to rush anything early in the season because Jamar Chase does make a really good point. You need him healthy in the stretch. You need him healthy where you go, and if you feel strong enough where you're trying to go later in the season, and if you feel strong enough about your team, I mean, this is why you invest in a good backup quarterback. This is why you care about your backup quarterback.
I don't know that they have a good backup quarterback. Their backup quarterback's Trevor Siemian. I don't think he's very good, but he's played in the league. I mean,
he's got some experience, and there's not, you know, you're not being asked to do that much. You've got a good run game. You've got a good line. You dump off the ball to your playmakers, and you ask your playmakers, you ask T and Jamar to make some plays for you.
I mean, that's a big difference. Like when the lines first came out for week 1, the Bengals were a 3.5-point favorite in Cleveland. The line's down to 1.5 now. If Burrow doesn't play, the Browns will be at least a 3-point favorite. I mean, him not playing swings the line 6-7 points easy. That's how important.
Well, and it should. Don't you think he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league? Like, hasn't he proven that that is who he is? And so obviously he should have that kind of an impact on it. Speaking of quarterbacks who are game breakers, are you guys excited for Hard Knocks?
Not at all. Are you?
Not even slightly.
Really?
I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Quarterbacks ruined it.
Aditi, we've been on the quarterbacks, the Netflix.
Quarterback on Netflix was awesome. It's much better than Hard Knocks is so cheesy. Every year, here's the storyline. There's guys, they make a big deal about some fat coach cursing. There's always some random white dude who's not going to make the roster, or even if he does, he's going to get cut in week 2.
Yeah, but the Jets already said you're not getting in that meeting when he gets cut.
Oh, the Jets don't. Jets, who the hell are the Jets? They'll get wherever the hell they want to get. Their coach is going to get fired at the end of the year if they don't win. And
oh my gosh, it must be so much fun to be.
And cut down day is boring. Nobody wants to see that anymore anyway. They do the same thing every year with cut down day. I
want to see if we see the inside of Aaron Rodgers' house. I mean, I saw the pictures in the New Jersey paper of the outside. I'd love to see how he decorated it inside. And did it come with the furniture, or was that just staging?
I guess.
Aaron Rodgers and I share a birthday.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
It's Anthony's
Did you like when the
tomorrow.
Browns were on Hard Knocks? Did you like when the Browns were on Hard Knocks?
Loved it. Loved it.
Did.
You know, Hugh Jackson came off like a total ass in that.
No, Hugh Jackson came off
And
as
that
a total
surprised
ass
you?
and a total phony.
Yeah, total phony.
Total
Okay,
phony.
did that surprise you? Did you see a different side of him than what you thought he was prior to that?
No.
I thought he came off as fake, if I'm being totally honest, Aditi, because prior to that, he seemed very mild-mannered. He seemed, just more like of a people person. And then he's arrogantly kind of like, putting coaches on Front Street because he's on TV. And it's like, wait a minute. Yeah. That's not the dude we hired. You're only doing this because the cameras are around.
If you had interacted with him already, you knew that he was a douche.
Yeah.
When the Browns first hired him, I loved the hire at the time because I didn't know him. But then you get to know him, you're like, oh, this guy's a real douche.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting because it just reveals a different side of, in many ways, when the cameras are always there and it's not what you are putting on in front of people. I think that your loathing of Aaron Rodgers is a perfect example of that. Aaron Rodgers plays a part publicly. And I think when the cameras are on and you see him actually interacting with his teammates, you might see a different side of him. You might see a different piece of his personality. You might not. He might just affirm exactly who you thought he was.
Kirk Cousins grew on me. I didn't like Kirk Cousins, and he grew on me from the quarterback documentary.
I'm trying to find out.
My favorite line, I think, in that entire documentary, P.S., was when Kirk Cousins' wife, who is, all of the wives, I loved Marcus Mariota's wife. I thought Kirk Cousins' wife was really engaging. But when his wife says, people tease him for looking like he shops at Target. But we do shop at Target.
Yeah.
I thought it was so great.
That was awesome.
You tease him for exactly who we are.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I've known Kirk Cousins since he was drafted in the league. I covered Washington so much that year when both he and RG3 were rookies. And he is who he is. He's a weird guy. He's not what you would think of as the prototypical starting quarterback in the NFL, but he is authentically himself.
He took an
I
L
think
in
it's
the playoffs
really
and then Reddish hit a book.
Oh, sorry. I think it's intriguing now how there's so much chatter about who the next group is going to be. How Josh Allen is saying, yeah, right? Like, I've not said no yet, or I have said no, or I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think it's pretty cool, that whole piece of it.
Yeah.
Who would you want to see? Earl, who would you want to see? Who's the three? Who would be your
Who's the
three?
three quarterbacks I would want to see in season 2?
Well, you'd want to see Watson, wouldn't you?
Not in season 2. Maybe give me Watson in season 3. The three quarterbacks I would want to see in season 2. Give me Jalen Hurts.
One is automatic. You got to have it.
Give me Jalen
Well,
Hurts.
Jalen already said no. Jalen
Okay.
said no.
Give me.
This is who he wants to see, Aditi, not who's.
Yeah, true, Mikey.
Give me Justin Herbert.
Herb, you want Herb?
It can't be 2 stars.
She asked me who I
It
wanted to
can
see.
be whatever Earl wants to
She
see.
asked me who I
A
wanted to see.
star, a
She
solid.
asked me who I wanted to see.
It's Neapolitan.
Wait.
Come on now. It's
Come
about
on, you know the setup. You got to have a
Wait.
star, medium sauce, and a guy that's
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Maybe
Give me
Earl
Tua.
thinks Justin Herbert's medium sauce. Let the man do
Give
his
me
answer.
Tua.
She was asked a question.
All right, Tua.
Give me Tua.
Hurts, Tua.
Give me Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I take Justin Herbert off for the sake of this conversation.
all right.
Okay.
And give me Trevor Lawrence.
All right. You still failed the assignment. But,
he got 3 good ones.
You got an A+ in my mind. Hey, Aditi, I got a serious question for you here.
Aditi, what did I get? What's
you got
your
no
grade?
Slappy. You gotta have Baker on there.
I don't care about
Baker
that.
has
You gotta have Baker.
Baker gotta
Of
be on
course, you
there.
gotta have Baker. Baker's got to be the Mariota on there.
Yeah, he is.
100%.
100%. I agree.
I thought the whole Mariota thing shedding light on whether he actually left the team or didn't leave the team, whether he had the
he
surgery
left.
with his coaches. Well, I thought it was interesting to kind of revisit that later.
Yeah.
With the cameras having actually been there. It felt colder in real time to realize that happened the day after his baby's birth. And thinking about how significant a moment that is and what the real roller coaster is. If the highest of highs is watching your baby be born. And then the next day, finding out like, oh, well, so what? Professionally, this is the end of the road, at least in this spot. I don't think I really put it together last year that the two happened that close together. That there was the personal and professional jarring. Anyway, go ahead, Mikey. Sorry.
Aditi, I do have a question for you. I need you to rank for me in terms of most impactful to least impactful these 3 offseason moves for the Browns. The trade of Elijah Moore.
Okay.
The signing of Dalvin Tomlinson, or the hiring of Jim Schwartz, from most impactful to least impactful on this upcoming 2023
Number
season.
1, hiring of Jim Schwartz. Number 2, signing of Elijah Moore. Number 3, signing of Dalvin Tomlinson. And that's not a knock on Dalvin in any way. I just think that Jim Schwartz has already had such an enormous impact on this club. And it's not just the accountability and the discipline and the organization and the scheme and the teaching and the experience and the wisdom and all of that he brings to the defense and the coaching that he does of the coaches under him. It's also what he's able to take off of Kevin Stefanski's plate. I mean, you've got a seasoned guy who's been in that seat that allows Kevin Stefanski a little bit more freedom, leeway, time to spend with the quarterbacks and spend with the offense and spend running the whole club kind of on a different level than what he maybe had to do before. So that's number 1. I'm super excited to see how the Jim Schwartz, Myles Garrett marriage works. And so far I'm hearing that Myles is really responding under Jim Schwartz, but I'm very excited to see it up close myself. Number 2, I have to pick Elijah Moore just because, my goodness, have you guys seen all these videos of the way he and Deshaun Watson are connecting? Mm-hmm. I mean, I was a huge Elijah Moore fan last year. I remember sitting with him in the production meeting before the Week 2 game. We had that at CBS. We had the Jets-Browns game. I know, bad memory for Browns fans, but I was so impressed with him. Every single report about him coming out of college was just how much he loves the game, how into the game he is, how hard of a worker he is. And I think this new, fresh climate is really good for him. And in offensive coordinators, going from Mike LaFleur to Alex Van Pelt, he's got very different personalities. I think that he's really going to blossom under Alex Van Pelt. I love what I'm seeing about what he's already creating rapport-wise with Deshaun Watson. And then obviously Dalvin Tomlinson, I mean, that was the big signing. It's this defensive line. It's what you're doing at the line of scrimmage that you feel great about. But I think that that's also a whole group. That also has to do with Zadarius Smith and what he's adding to that group. It's what schematically they're doing. It's Tomlinson is a series of veterans that are bringing something different to that defense, whether it's Juan Thornhill, Rodney McLeod, Tomlinson. It's that whole group of them and what they do for the defense. So again, all meaningful, but I'm not really hesitating in how I rank. So you can feel free to disagree.
I agree.
You said this Thursday, and I definitely saw it Thursday night in the game. You talked about Jim Schwartz defense, and not necessarily who would be out there, but a style of play and a certain attitude. Right. And you can see the attitude of the players that was out there put on display. So you got the Commanders versus Browns game this week. I'm pretty sure starters from both teams will play a little bit in this game. Are you excited to see that attitude transfer over to some guys that we were going to actually see in the regular season this Friday night?
Well, of course, Earl, of course, because even if these games, I mean, what are we going to really see out of the starters? Maybe 15 snaps, maybe 20 snaps, maybe like if one series goes really well, just the one series. But yes, you want to see a little bit of in practice. That's what's going to get the fans excited. That's what's like, oh, you know, everyone nationally is talking about which Deshaun Watson are we going to see. So fans want to see in that one drive, what do you see? But I think for the club, for the coaches, for the front office, what's more interesting is as you get later in the game and you have the guys that are clawing for roster spots or clawing for positioning, that's where you have a little bit more of your attitude, your approach, your aggressiveness. That could be the difference between whether you make this team or not. And so in some ways, Earl, I'd argue that the third and the fourth quarter are really sort of more intriguing than the first quarter. Because you definitely expect that out of Zadarius Smith, and you're not signing Zadarius Smith if you're not seeing that out of him. You expect that out of Dalvin Tomlinson, and it's almost more of a story if you didn't see it, and I just don't think we're not going to see it.
The biggest story is Aditi is going to be in studio Friday. That's biggest
right.
thing about Friday.
Aditi, we'll see you Friday.
The biggest
Are you
thing.
bringing Nico?
Can't wait.
Or not?
Thanks
You don't
so
know
much
yet.
for having
Are you bringing Nico or you don't know yet?
I know. I don't think he's going to come with me.
All right, another time.
Because we've got the 2 nights. All right.
We'll see you Friday.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Aditi.